Brasil!
Leve o Brasil com você. Take Brazil with you. Leve Brasil contigo. Eu sou Lourdinha Rodrigues, militante do Movimento em Marcha. De braços abertos, o Brasil te recebe. Seja bem-vindo.
I am Lourdinha Rodrigues, militant of Movement in March. Brazil receives you all with arms wide opened. Be welcome to the miscegenated country, Brazil of all races, melting pot of all peoples. Here is where you live better. It's here that you can have the pleasure to be Brazilian. If you're coming from another country, remember, Brazil receives its foreign guests very well. Remember, we are four races mixed in a single one, miscegenated. This way you feel at home, receive all our welcome messages, and get to know about the movement in March. We have a website for you to get to know us better, www.movimentoemmarcha.org. On the website, you will learn everything about our history. The movement in March came out to show the Brazilians that they are miscegenated, and that this particular fact makes them unique, and that they have to accept this as a form of being able to receive guests from all over the world. Without the acceptance of this premise, there is no way to be so open and receptive to so many ethnicities like we are. The movement in March is an authentic messenger of Brazilianness and miscegenation. Do not forget, with racism in soccer, the ball does not roll. What really rolls is fraternity, friendship, love, and that's what we expect for this World Cup. Now we are going to talk about a very important person, a person who released the book. Dr. Amaro, what's the movement in March and its main objective? The MM is an organization whose main intention is to show the greatness of its people, the Brazilian people, based on its identity, which is the miscegenation and the Brazilianness. The miscegenation is this constant mixture of people over the course of its history, since 1500s. And the Brazilianness is the result of this constant mixture, creative, first making that individually each one has an insight and understands this as a great legacy, and that he is a participant of such legacy. Later on, when he becomes aware of that, that is, when he understands this value and recognizes this greatness inside him, he himself can create conditions to be a messenger of miscegenation, to reveal it to other people. This not only to the Brazilian people, but other peoples as well. That's the essence of the MM. It is, let's say, this combination of arousing and revealing.
Essa junção de aflorar e revelar.
Being the miscegenation and the Brazilianness, a topic that entails anthropology, culture, sociology, how can we take this message to all the Brazilian people? The movement in March, this organization, understand that there is the need of a constant exercise with our people with regard to miscegenation and the Brazilianness. Because you know that axiom of the person who can observe but not see it, or observe it but not see it? He knows, but he does not know exactly the logic of his identity. So it's necessary to show this greatness to him. First, this condition he has while he is as a person, so he should have confidence in himself. So it's necessary to have this great exercise, all the time. Not only to the Brazilian, but to all people, because this is a vision that we have to contribute to mankind. The Brazilian people, as we see, as the MM sees, as a model to the rest of the world. Therefore, the organization means to take this message of greatness and miscegenation and Brazilianness to other peoples as well. to be as a, I mean, to serve as a model as well.
Modelo para o resto.
The movement's philosophy is if we understand and we reach a level of consciousness or awareness of the importance of the value of our Brazilianness and our miscegenation characteristics, we can eliminate as a consequence everything against the racism. It's a way that we can work against the racism that can be observed even today in the soccer, as we could see on TV recently.
Contra a questão do racismo que está imperando, inclusive, no nosso futebol aí que aconteceu.
Our Brazilianness in the soccer makes us a little different from other peoples or other countries
Diferente de outros
because we still practice the soccer art, creative. Therefore, we don't place much emphasis on physical strength. Does this make us favorite, I mean, to win the World Cup, in your opinion, Dr. Amaro?
no futebol, ao longo
In soccer, over the period of history, of soccer history, Brazil has been seen as football or soccer of art. But what happened to our way of organizing soccer? We have a country still with the mentality, the colonization mentality, but we are making great progress in this area. We are trying to set ourselves free from this. We believe that in the principle that we used to believe that in the principle that everything that comes from outside is better. Everything that is from Europe is better. And inside us, I mean, this influenced us somehow. Then we had this logic inside our brain, and what happened after this process? Some elitist powers of our country wanted to put in our soccer something that was not actually our natural and unique ability. That we were in the same style of the Europeans, and that the same style of the Europeans is the strength soccer, even because that's what they understood about soccer. So they used to have like tall and strong soccer players, and that's why they worked, I mean, as an art football. And therefore we use the soccer creative, different from them. Since the Brazilian people, I mean, within this logic, is a more, let's say, smaller people and a little thinner. The Brazilian people was more miscegenated, and within this logic, we use the creative and art soccer in field. So these elitists try to play this responsibility over our shoulders about what the Brazilian people represent, about the Brazilian soccer player standards. And obviously, this goes against our real way of playing soccer, which each one has to really work on its natural abilities. The Europeans play the strength soccer because of the understanding of their natural vocation. But our understanding is soccer is a form of art. We understand that we don't have to have the soccer that they have. And even though our soccer is still considered art, it's not like the same as it used to be in the past. Because the soccer players today have been influenced by the way the Europeans play as well. So unfortunately, this understanding of a colonized vision decharacterized our soccer very much. But we still have, I mean, the soccer players who play the soccer art, that player who really understand this logic and also continue playing it the same way as they used to. Or else they wouldn't have been hired, because they also consider this as a very important characteristic of playing soccer. But there they are decharacterizing this soccer because the art is not as important for them as it is for us. For example, if this was not true, I mean, they wouldn't hire the Brazilian soccers. Well, we are mixed, and in this mixed form of being, we reveal this through our soccer because it's like having different cultures inside only one person. Brazil, as a soccer team, in my understanding, has everything to win this World Cup. It has all the necessary conditions, even though we have some difficulties. From this perspective, the Brazilian soccer has art. It has exactly that because it's a miscegenated people, a miscegenated country, with many variables inside themselves, which led them and allowed them to understand this logic of playing. The Brazilian soccer of art is a subjective art. As they have, the Brazilian people are miscegenated, and consequently, they are very emotional. They work with the emotion and the subconscious, including they have this natural talent, this natural potentiality in the soccer. And this condition makes them an artist player. For example, like when we remember the dribbles of Garrincha, the wonderful players of Pelé, and other great players we had in the past.
De todos esses povos, por isso que deu a possibilidade de nós sermos um jogador artista.